be very brief. Lots of people want to speak. I've read the House health care plan and have found that much of what they're telling me is not true. One point in particular jumped out at me right away, and that is the end-of-life counseling clause. And I wondered why they would put that into the health care plan, that they were going to pay someone for end-of-life counseling, because end-of-life counseling is available now everywhere for everyone for free.
For free.
I could only conclude that what it really meant was end-of-life counseling in lieu of medical treatment, and the government was paying the Grim Reaper to come and counsel me on ways to die. And for those of you who believe the president when he says that if you like your doctor and you like your insurance, you can keep it, I suggest you read page 16 to see how they're going to slip us the big one on that. I have worked and paid taxes since I was 14 years old. And I resent the president telling me now that he doesn't want to hear from me. He wants me to get out of the way and wants to throw me on the trash heap because it might cost a little bit more to take care of me. I am counting on you, Congressman Shadegg, to not only vote against this bill, but to fight against it with everything you have.
Everything she said was accurate. I think you all know that. You have my personal promise in front of quite a few witnesses that I will fight against this bill with every ounce of energy I have. But, and there's a big but, it is important to understand, and there are already national pressures against this point, that in the absence of you speaking out politely and effectively by talking with your friends and your neighbors, not just emailing your congressman, talking with your friends, your neighbors, your golf partner, your bridge partner, your hairdresser, your barber, and telling them what you think and why. Absent that, this bill will pass. And the reason for that is numbers. Yep. The Republicans and those who oppose this bill in the House are outnumbered by 70 votes. It's a huge margin. The Democrats have a filibuster-proof majority in the Senate. This bill will pass absent Americans speaking out. And in this regard, I want to say, at some point, somebody's going to get to the microphone who believes in single payer. I want you all to treat them with respect. This is a free country. But however you feel, love it or hate it, you have to engage in this debate. And you must do it in an effective and civil manner, otherwise we won't have any impact. I was in Las Vegas last night talking about this, and we've all read the comments about, well, some on the other side, including the president, including my friend Ms. Pelosi, my friend went in quotes, are saying that all of you, everyone opposing the bill and speaking out, is in fact just an insurance lobbyist being paid by the insurance industry. This guy grabbed me last night, and he comes up and he says, "Congressman, I am so mad I can't see straight." And I said, "Really, why?" And he said, "Well, I've been fighting this bill with everything I've got. Every day I go out to the mailbox looking for my check from the insurance company because I'm a paid lobbyist, and they haven't sent me a dime yet." So I need to make a housekeeping announcement. The police officers who are here have, and I want to thank you all for your polite conduct so far. They would like us to keep the doors clear. The fire marshal apparently has heard that we have an overflow crowd and is en route here, and we need to make sure the doors are clear to comply with the fire code. So we'd like that. We appreciate your patience on that. The end-of-life counseling issue, I just want to comment on briefly. It is toward the end of the bill. I thought I had a paper clip on it, but I wasn't able to find that paper clip. But you can find it, and you can reach your own conclusion about it. It is one of the issues where the those who like this bill say that those who are criticizing the bill are overblowing the language. I think it's fair to ask, you guys put the language in, why is it there? And if it's susceptible of different interpretations, you should have written it clearer to make it certain that it is not of the kind of concern that the young lady just raised. Yes, sir.
From my experience, reform usually translates into I'm going to get screwed. We appreciate you not trying to nationalize our healthcare system, but you did do one thing, and I want you to come clean with the public.
This is on healthcare. We're doing healthcare.
About the bailout. You voted for the bailout and nationalized our economy. Why is it okay to do that?
It's not.
Thank you. And why'd you do it?
He asks me this question every time he comes, and that's fine. Let me just, I'll answer it. Let me just say, that
Not socialism when you do it, right?
No. You and I have had this conversation before, and apparently you don't listen to my answer. When you're in Congress 15 years, you cast a lot of votes. Sometimes in your career you look back and say, was that a good vote or a bad vote? I gotta tell you, I haven't looked back at many votes and decided after the fact it was a mistake. I will tell you that I had a lot of business people, I said this before, I had many business people in this town, including auto salesmen who were about to lose their jobs, saying the bankers and the proponents of that bill are right. If we don't pass it, this economy will collapse. It is a structural flaw in the economy, including a Republican Secretary of Treasury and a Republican President. Turns out they were wrong. If I can take that vote back, I take it back. So, have we answered that question? You show me the human that hasn't made a mistake, and I'll show you God. All right, healthcare.
I have two comments. When you say talk to your neighbors, we're asked by our president to snitch on our neighbors and to email him at flag@whitehouse.gov. If that's not communist or whatever, turning in our neighbor, I don't know what it is. The second comment I have, if this health plan is so great for all of us Americans, why is not Congress going to take part in it?
Let me answer the first question, the second question first, because it's a great question. There is no way in the world that this bill should pass and not be required to apply, the public plan required to apply to members of Congress. And somebody pointed out, and the president. The young lady who stood up over here with the very first question, who said that she watched the entire markup, will tell you that Republicans offered in the House Energy and Commerce markup an amendment to apply the bill to the President and all members of Congress. The Democrats raised a point of order and would not allow that to be voted on. Republicans also proposed an amendment to apply it to all federal employees, including members of Congress. And again, Henry Waxman did not allow that amendment to be heard. Fortunately, in either the Ways and Means Committee or the Education and Labor Committee, a similar amendment was offered to require all members of Congress to be participants in the public plan, and it passed. So what you need to understand is the way the system works. Remember I told you there are essentially 3 bills out there right now on the House side. There's the original House 3200 with the amendments adopted in the Energy and Commerce Committee. There's the original HR 3200 with the amendments adopted in Ways and Means, and there's the original 3200 with the amendments adopted in Education and Labor. What the Rules Committee will do is bring that into one package. It is the Rules Committee that will decide whether the amendment that applies the public plan to all members of Congress and says, members of Congress and the President, you must accept your health care through the public plan. It's the Rules Committee that will make that decision before the bill goes to the floor. You can contact my office, and we'll give you a list of the names and addresses and contact information for all the Republicans and all the Democrats on the Rules Committee, and you all can put pressure on them to make sure that provision is in the bill if it ever goes to the floor for a vote. I couldn't agree with you more. By the way,